everybody, Brittany here, and today is July 26th, and it's been about a month since my last garden tour, so I figured it was time to give you a walk around and show you what's happening here at our homestead. Quickly, I'll show you some of the seeds I've already saved, because as I announced in my last video, I'm starting a small seed company, and I'm expecting to have everything together, figured out by January 1st, so I'll have my first seed collection available. And I really am focusing on adapting seeds here to my environment, so I really want people here in the Triad or the Piedmont of North Carolina to have these seeds, because I want us all to have very productive, healthy gardens, and I feel like a big part of that is seed saving and adapting certain varieties to our conditions here in North Carolina. So I'll be sharing more information about that as I figure things out. And now let me show you what's going on. Alright, I just wanted to show you the seeds I've saved so far. So here we have the arugula seed I've saved, and the cilantro seed. And I bought this nifty tool here to help me with my seed saving to speed up the process. Yeah, there's my little seed collection as well. Alright, let's go outside. Okay, so we'll start here on the front porch. I have some purslane that I'm saving the seeds from. Here's a radish. Yeah, there's just kind of seeds everywhere. I have some of my plants finally moved to the front porch so they can get more love. I have an alpine strawberry here, just some herbs, my mint collection, which still needs to be put in the ground here soon enough. Just more lettuce and radish and more lettuce seed. I have some tomatoes that my grandpa actually gave me the seed from. It's a little hybrid tomato, so I'm excited to grow that out. I've never grown a hybrid tomato. Then I have some sorrels and some other things here. We got a muscadine grapevine for cheap at the store. My aloes are thriving. So that kind of wraps up the front porch. The roses are still flowering. It's amazing. Okay, and then I say well, if you just look here, you'll see we completed a project. We finally got gates on our door. We built this little trellis. So the grape I just showed you, we're actually going to put right here in the corner. It will grow up and over, which will be amazing. Then on this side, I'll probably just plant some scarlet runner beans going up there. So I reckon let's start in the small garden, or what I call field one first. So this is the bed that I had that cover crop in. I did hack it down, but as you can see, the clover's still growing. And then all along here, I planted a Cherokee Trail of Tears bean. On this side, I planted a new variety for me. It's called Kentucky Wonder. But you can see this is all compost from my compost pile. I'm just having tons of radish from the radish that was growing here popping up. So that'll be a nice little bonus. In bed number 2, we have the red Russian kale that was totally decimated from caterpillars is pulling through. Now I have harlequin bugs on it, so we'll see what happens, but I'm hoping it will make it. This is from a seed I saved last year, so I think that's why it's a little bit tougher and survive the caterpillars. And I have chard, tatsoi. This got some pretty bad flea beetle damage, but that is a nice full head of tatsoi. I just have more chard. Green sorrel is coming in really nice. Some lettuce. Mostly everything's going to seed or is already set seed. In this bed I have, I guess the most exciting thing is I'm growing burdock. There's one nice plant there. Another one here. Some of them didn't really do much, so we'll see about that. Try again next year. Some turnips. Lots and lots of lettuce seed that needs to get saved this weekend. That's on the list. My sweet Genevieve's basil patch is just huge. It's nice can never have enough basil in the summer. Here's that broccoli that is totally skeletized from those caterpillars I mentioned. Here's my holy basil section. It's starting to flower. Then I have a couple of pepper plants. There's a hot pepper over there. And here's a little bell pepper. Nice. And let's see, I'll come along. Oh, I'll show our first sunflower. And I saw a golden finch the other day, and I think he actually started already eating the seeds. Then we have marigolds coming in, lettuce, volunteer tomatoes everywhere. Here's my Thai basil and purple basil, the nice volunteer tomato. This one's already set fruit further down there. And I think that's probably aroma. Here's a more round volunteer tomato. And I have some more flowers that came up. Okay, so that's this section of the garden. And before I walk around the big garden, let's come over here and check out the hugel mound, which I think, considering that we didn't water or do anything to it, I think it did okay. Some of the squash plants have like totally died back. I'm not sure if that's from lack of water or the fact that they're like not growing in like fertile soil. But you'll see some of them are ripening. Just kind of leaving them out here to see what happens. I'm keen to save seed from these. Hopefully next year's plants will be even more resilient. And then down in here, there's a spaghetti squash. And you'll see these plants are just loaded with squash beetle eggs. So, yeah, but it was an easy project. There's some tomatoes in there as well. Here's a squash that turned green. So there are some that are ripening fully on the plant, so that's good. And yeah, alright, so there's the hugel mound. And then over here is my little like random bed that I created. All of these tall guys are Jerusalem artichokes that are doing well. They were having some very like huge populations of aphids at the top, and Richard came in and just blasted them with the hose, squirt them all off, and now the population's really reduced. And I see a ladybug right here just going to town on them, so that is awesome. I mean definitely our approach is to never spray any insecticides, herbicides, anything like that, and just let nature take care of itself, because that's just what I think is for the best. And then down here I have a horseradish plant. I have dill that went to seed, and all this lettuce going to seed in here. I'm just gonna let it drop right where it is. Oh, here's a beautiful dill. There's some seed, a flower. Alright, so that's kind of that. And then over where I was just standing, the Remuda was coming up through the mulch we put down so bad. I had to tarp at least some of it. You can see like where the tarp ends, Bermuda begins. But that's okay. Alright. And let's go back in. Oh, I just so appreciate having this, especially since we've been spotting a gopher in our garden. And of course there are bunnies before that, so it's nice to have a finished fence. Alright, so here in the big garden, I'm trying to think of where to start. And itching mosquito bites at the same time. Let's come over to our beans. So here you can see there's lamb's quarters. I always let those grow. It's a nice source of summer greens. I have more Thai basil here, more holy basil here. And this was our first bean planting. Can't remember when I planted it, but the crop's coming along pretty well. We've harvested a lot of fresh green beans. This is Contender. so far our favorite green bean variety that we've grown. I have Black Turtle next to it, which is a dry bean crop. Which makes sense because we were like eating it as a fresh bean and it was so stringy and terrible. Then I looked and I saw that's why. Here's Whipple. This is another dry bean. A couple cilantro plants. And here we have, oh, that's more Whipple. And here's Lima. Oh no, this is Dwarf Taylor. And this is another dry bean crop. And here is Lima. This area needs to get cleaned up and planted. I just got more bean seeds in the mail, so I'm going to be planting those out. Richard got in stakes for our 4 awesome tomato plants that our friends gave us that are, I don't know if any of them have set fruit yet, but it's coming soon, I'm sure of it. Here's one with flowers. That's a nice cluster right there. I can't remember if I showed you in the last video, but I did plant the rest of my strawberries under this tree to help protect them. Oregano is beginning to flower here. And you can see there's just like a bajillion arugulas coming up. I'll show you the other areas. It's hilarious. Like all of this arugula here is just self-seeded. I wanted to talk about these catnip plants that I have though. Holy moly, there are so many different critters that are always on them, like bees, butterflies, flies, all sorts of insects. Like really good for pollinators. Here is more of the arugula. Oh, there's a red clover with butterflies on it. That's nice. Yeah, so I'm just like crushing arugula everywhere I walk now. More tomatoes. Here's our newest bean. I guess not our newest, but there's our second bean planting. These are the tomatoes that I grew from seed. The only ones that have made it this far. It wasn't my best tomato from seed year. I planted some beans here earlier this week, and I have a nice ground cover of arugula. And then here's radish from the radish seed I've saved so far. Got lots of those popping up. Parsley. Here is where I planted the Egyptian walking onions. And I finally, after 3 weeks, have some emerging after so much stress and worry. I was just so concerned that they weren't going to pull through. But I'm starting to see them. Here's another one right there. And we've gotten a lot of rain this week, so that should help. And I have carrots going to seed that. It's still kind of strange to me because they're biennials. And this was the first year they were in the ground. So I don't quite understand that, but I don't know. The flies really seem to enjoy the flowers, so I'm leaving them for now until I need that space. I just wanted to check these tomatoes and see if we've got any fruit. It looks like the first flowers are coming on that one. Got lots of flowers on this one. And yep, little baby tomatoes coming on. Yay! We won't have July tomatoes, but we will have some fresh tomatoes in August. We've got a rosemary plant. And here's sorrel. Oh, yay! Okay, so these are beans I planted on 7/22, and this entire bed is just dry beans. These are my own seed that I saved last year. I'm so happy to see them coming up. This rain certainly was what they needed. Yeah, so there's my beans. These ones haven't. Oh, here's one. Yay. I love the way beans look when they first emerge. And then here's my berries. We're actually going to go this weekend to get some cattle panel so we can build trellises for these berries and get them off the ground and stop sprawling. Potatoes are dying back. We've been harvesting those and eating them. This bed's doing a little bit better. Here I planted some amaranth that didn't really come up and some chia that did not come up at all. There's a volunteer cucumber here, a really nice bushy tomato here that, sorry I just keep showing you fruit, but you know, summer excitement. There's a little tomato right there. And here's some amaranth. I just threw the seed down. The blueberries are still doing well. And here's more radish volunteers popping up. That's the beauty of saving seed, is like eventually it's to the point where you just have too many plants. They're just coming up everywhere. That's good. They'll add some organic matter to my soil. Here is a blueberry and tomato volunteer. Our brown turkey fig, the mugwort that was here before us that is just thriving. Here we have the strawberry bed that could use some love. I think I'm going to add some compost on top of it to help these strawberries thrive. Here's a volunteer tomato, our happiest fig, a Celeste variety. The other ones I think are really just like focusing on their roots this year. I bet next year they'll be way more magnificent. Here is the first reddening tomato on the homestead. I'm keeping my eye on it every single day. And also these are freaking huge. Let me try and get a better shot of that. All these tomato leaves. These huge. They must be aromas, I'm not sure. But they are just monsters. Alright, so that kind of is this perennial section. And then you can see that the greenhouse is complete. Well, for the most part. It needs a little bit of repair work, but the structure is complete. I'm so happy. Part of why I need to get some cattle panel, also so I can build my shelving for in here. Like, we need to replace these hinges so we can attach the window. The window needs better screen. We need to finish attaching those properly. That hinge needs to be replaced. Yeah, I got some tarps down in here, and then we're gonna throw a bunch of compost in here. And I want to build shelving here for me to start transplants on. And I'm not sure what else we're gonna do with this, but I'm just happy to have a nice greenhouse to use. Okay, so that's pretty much the tour. I've walked you around, seen everything. Yeah. Ooh, one last thing, and this is actually on my to-do list, is to come and check the peach tree. It's been a while. I keep on forgetting. It's kind of back here out of the way. I hope. Oh, they're still hard. Okay. Well, I will keep on checking, because I cannot wait to have my first homegrown peach. Okay, well that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching my little homestead tour, garden tour, late July 2018. And I will keep making about a video a month, just showing you guys what's happening in the garden. But for now, I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes and my dinner's almost done. So I hope that you guys are having a great gardening season, and I'll see you in the next video.